Alrighty, your boy's back. Took a little 5-minute break. I went to the toilet for a second, and now I'm back ready to do a Dynasty Startup draft with you guys. We just saw rounds 2 and 3 of the 2022 NFL Draft, and now we are ready to do a Dynasty Startup draft. Okay, so if you're here, appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Now, I got a big ask. 25 people watching. Last time we were able to get to almost 80 likes, which is unreal from you guys. Thank you so much. Now, can I ask you, can you drop a like?
You like that? You like that?
Just as we start the stream, as you're coming in, go ahead and drop a like for your boy. I'm solo dolo tonight, bringing all the Dynasty content for you, so thanks for hanging out with me. Now, you can actually see here the mock draft that we just did. We just finished a rookie draft, so you can see what that looked like here. Super interesting. We had Breece Hall going 101 to the Jets. Kenneth Walker, Seattle, go watch that stream as well. We literally just finished it. You can watch it after this one if you'd like to, but really interesting. I felt like I literally didn't stop talking until like pick 3-2. I feel like I consistently talked because I just had so much to say until 3-2. It was really, really fun. Thanks everybody for joining us there. Now, if you would like to be a part of this mock draft right here, step 1, join the Discord, okay, which is the first link in the description of this video. So join our Discord, because that is where I will send the link. There will be a lot of people joining, okay, so people will mess out. I'm sorry if you are one of those people. What's up, TD? What's up, Gator? What's up, DFRNT? TD says I'm scared. BMAC, what's good, brother? Gator says, where do you all see Dameon Pierce and Carson Strong going? Probably, I'd say both of them are 4th, 5th round guys at this point. BMAC says, Willis to the Titans. I see you, Zach. You a savage. If you guys aren't aware, we did a live mock draft, a real NFL mock draft together one day before the NFL draft. And I did a trade where I basically had Willis going to the Titans. And I kind of fell in love with that spot for him. It's really cool that it happened. Now, to be clear, in that mock draft, I did it in the 1st round. But in real life, it was the 3rd round. But still, I think it's such a good landing spot for Malik. I love the offense that he's in. I love the situation that he's in. And I'm really, really excited for that. So, Nick, what's up? My guy says, nailed the end of the last stream, my man. I appreciate it. Daniel says, do you think Ford will get drafted? Yes. I have no doubts that Ford will be drafted, but he'll probably be a 4th, 5th, 6th round guy. A lot of these guys that we like will be later round running backs drafted, But, all right, we are going to have a good-ass time. I promise you that. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for the sub, Elijah. Appreciate you, brother, man. All right, so there are 11 spots here, okay? Not everyone's going to get in. I just want to say sorry from the get-go, because that's just the reality, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and send the link. Here is the link to join tonight's startup. Please don't send me hate messages if you don't get in. I get hate. You guys might think this is crazy, but I get hate messages from people who are like, why didn't you let me in? I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. There's not unlimited amount of spots. I'm so sorry. So please don't send me hate messages. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best to bring some content, but here we go. Here comes the link. This will fill up relatively quick. I expect it to, at least. All right. So as this fills up, obviously we had the NFL draft rounds 2 and 3 just then. Now we are doing a startup draft. Now we will only go till round 12 here, guys. Actually, let's go round 13. I'll go round 13. I just have content that I need to create from day 2 of what happened here. So I want to make sure I get to that. But we will go ahead and get this started. 60 seconds are on the clock. And I will go ahead and hit start. So let's see what happens here. Josh Allen at the 101. I am very curious to see how it's going to end up panning out with some of these rookies. But you guys comment, let me know. What was your favorite and least favorite pick of the draft? Okay, so we see Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, and Deshaun Watson off the board. I don't know if Speedy's in the stream, but shout out to Speedy. We just did a trade, and I now have the 104. So I'm pretty excited to either get, Mahomes, Herbert, Murray, Burrow, one of those guys. I finally was able to make a trade because I'm drafting at the 11-12 spot in almost every league. It's so depressing. But we're still going to make the best out of it. That's for damn sure. Let's see what Tebow does here at the 7 spot. There goes Lamar Jackson off the board, and now we can kind of turn this volume back on. There goes JT, along with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Okay. So Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson off the board. And let's see what we get here at pick number 12. Number 12, my lord. I feel like I know who's going to be available, and I just had to accept it. All right, I'm catching up with the chat here. It's a great situation for Willis. Gives him time to develop. I agree. Saxter says 11 spot for Echo practice. I love it. BMAC says, damn, y'all fast. No clue how I miss out. BMAC says, hated Walker going number 1. Should have traded down if they wanted him that badly. I agree. I thought Walker won at, with the first pick was a bad move as well. I think I have to grab a quarterback here. Otherwise, I'm really not going to like the way the board looks. And, typically I would feel really good about A.J. Brown, but now I don't feel that. I feel good about him as a second round pick, but, just not this early. CeeDee Lamb is there. I could consider CeeDee Lamb. I think I'm going to go double QB. I think I'm going to start a lot of drafts this way. Wow. I think I'm going to start a lot of drafts this way if this is where I'm drafting. So, back in 82 says, biggest surprise pick for you so far? That's a good question. The biggest surprise pick. Why don't I give you one per round? All right, so what was the ones that I was surprised by the most? I would say round 1 was the Packers going Quay Walker, because I don't understand that. I don't think he's the second best linebacker in the class. I could be wrong, but that was really surprising to me. Round 2, who was the biggest surprise round 2? Wan'Dale Robinson. Again, I guess when I say surprise, it's because I don't understand it. Are you going to trade Kadarius Toney? Maybe, but I just feel like they got a clone of what they already had. I really didn't like the Wan'Dale Robinson pick. I also didn't like taking him with the 44th pick or the 43rd pick. I thought Wan'Dale would be more of like a round 3 guy. I don't know. And there was just so many other wide receivers still available. John Mechie would have made sense. George Pickens was still there. Same with Sky Moore. So I really didn't like the Wan'Dale Robinson pick, even though I like Wan'Dale Robinson. Also, Tyquan Thornton was a real surprise as well. I know he's fast, but he's not very good at many other things. And to make him a second round pick because of his speed, we've seen that be a real problem before. In the 3rd round, what surprised me in the 3rd round? Well, I mean, obviously all the quarterbacks were a surprise in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? Malik to Tennessee, Matt Corral to the Panthers. Those were all surprise picks. Also, Danny Gray, which was the last pick that we just saw. I just expected him more to be a 5th pick, a 5th round pick, not a 3rd, but it was surprising to me at least. Okay, Trevor Lawrence at the 2-5. That feels a little early, no? What do you think, guys? Okay, what's going on here? Guys, this is too early for Lawrence and Tua. Don't we think this is too early? I don't know. What do you guys... I mean, that feels way too early for these guys. I know that, we're a little bit uncertain about some of these wide receivers and running backs, but... Wow. I don't know, man. I I still think I'm going to go a lot of these running backs and wide receivers over Trevor and Tua. Is that just an oversight for me? Maybe. I don't know. And then Jalen Hurts goes off the board. Yeah, I'll say this. The Eagles got much better through the draft. They got much better, both on the defense and on the offense. And as much as we always want to say they could replace Jalen Hurts in 2023, well, they could. But if 2023 is truly an elite quarterback class, then the Eagles are going to be better. Their pick is going to be worse. They got the Saints pick. They're going to be a good team because they're in a weak NFC conference. Both of them are. So the whole Jalen Hurts could be replaced. I'm not so certain of it now. I still don't think he's the answer long term, personally. But I'm not so certain that they're going to be able to replace him next year. And we'll see what that means for A.J. Brown. We'll see what that means for Devonta Smith. Jalen Waddle at the 210. I like it. I'm okay with it. Drew Lock, quarterback 1. Miles says, LOL, horrible draft class makes people panic to get quarterbacks early now. I will say, let's just get all on the same page because I want to help everyone who's watching this. That is too early for Trevor and Tua. Can we be on the same page there? What do you guys think? Let me know if I'm wrong. I think it's too early. 40 people watching the stream. Really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. I am solo dolo tonight. So if you could drop a like for your boy.
You like that? You like that?
We just did a rookie draft. And I think we're able to get to almost 80 likes, which is unreal. So thank you so much for the love tonight. Appreciate you. All right. So we get Metcalf off the board and then Higgins as well as Justin Fields. Rappin' Dog says, what's up? Rank these 3, London, Burks, and Wilson. So just to clarify, I have 2 sets of rankings, guys, with my rookies. Okay. One is ranking them as a talent. The other is ranking them as far as where I would draft them in a rookie draft, because the quarterback they're connected to, the offense they're in, the competition for target share, the offense as a whole, right? All these things really matter. And what I really want to do in a rookie draft, and I might sound like a broken record at this point, but what I really want to do is be able to project a player in 1 year's time from now. Will they be more valuable or maybe less valuable? So London, Burks, and Wilson, I don't think that there's really a wrong answer. They're all like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, whatever. But I would say Burks, Wilson, London. That's how I would rank it. I think Wilson's probably one of the safest floors. Yeah. John, what's up? He says, what's your thoughts on Rachaad White? Thanks, man. Hope you're having a wonderful, blessed evening. I am, John. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. My thoughts on Rachaad White. I think he's an interesting prospect. I compared him to Cordero Patterson, if I'm not mistaken. That's who I kind of compared Rachaad White to. Yep, I'm looking at my profile for him now. And I think he's interesting. He's very intriguing. Great pass catcher. Wasn't really a highly recruited guy. I don't like his running style, though. He runs like a wide receiver. He doesn't run like a running back. So he's going to need to kind of slightly change that if he wants to succeed in the run game. But I think he's very intriguing. And being in Tampa Bay, I would be worried if I owned Leonard Fournette as far as like target share, because I do think that it does make sense for Rachaad White to get some of that target share there. So yeah, that would be my overall thoughts. Back in 82 says Zach Wilson could be a good buy with the weapons the Jets have now. That is very true back in 82. I mean, the offensive line is good. You get more weapons. Now you get Breece Hall. This offense is going to be better. Thoughts on Michael Carter and Breece Hall? I told everyone to sell Michael Carter before the draft. It's just something that I felt like they were going to get one of these guys. So I still think Carter's valuable, but I hope that you guys were able to sell him. Back-to-back Ohio State. That's true. So then we see Justin Fields at 3-1. I like the value there. Andrews, A.J. Brown, McCaffrey. I think Stafford is that is such good value there at the 3-5. Matthew Stafford should not be going that late. And then Breece Hall at the 3-6. That makes him the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th running back. And I don't hate it. I mean, I like the situation that he's in. I am not worried about Michael Carter taking touches from Breece Hall. Will it be a committee? Yeah, but could we, let me ask you guys, could we find ourselves actually in a situation like Antonio Gibson and JD McKissic? I do think that Breece Hall is a better overall prospect. So, and he's a more traditional running back. He's been in that, yeah. I still think what I view him as a prospect, I like the situation that he landed in. I'm okay with that. Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Debo, and then Kenneth Walker now shoots up to the 310. I'm not so certain on that one. I like Kenneth Walker. I really love this landing spot. I just talked about on the last stream how much I liked the landing spot. But I just don't know if it's... I just don't know if that's who I'm going to go there. All right, Diggs is off the board. Now there's no rookie running back I'm even remotely considering here. Wide receiver wise, Treylon could make some sense for me to take a shot here. I'm not a big Deontay Johnson fan. You guys know that. I've never really... I've been advocating for you guys to sell him this offseason. I'm just going to double check my rankings here. Okay, well, with the first pick, I'm going to take Treylon. It might be too early, but I'm kind of just testing things out, having fun, giving this a go. Let me just see who would be the next player I would take in my rankings. I don't want to go running back this early. I feel like it's a reach for me to go running back. Godwin's there. I really do like Godwin. Tyreek is there. I could consider Tyreek Hill. I'm going to have such a problem figuring this pick out. I really don't know what to do at this point, but let's just try getting Godwin here. Let's see how this feels. We'll see how that feels. I think I did something similar last night, but yeah. Miles says, I think it will be more like JT and Hines a couple years ago. I can respect that. That's a good point. They're going to stack the box like crazy, but hopefully Zach Wilson can develop so they aren't able to stack the box, right? Hopefully. Breece will his Javonte like in college. What do you mean by that? Sorry. Zach Wilson off the board there at the 4-2. So we are seeing Wilson's value now rise. Wilson was not going before the 6th round for quite a while. Then DJ Moore's off the board. Apple Pie says, why the love for Burks over other rookies? Many were down on A.J. Brown due to the low passing offense he was on. I said this on the last stream, Apple Pie, but essentially when I think about players who are stepping into opportunities and they instantly have almost no competition for target share, Burks is at the top of that list for me. Okay, so let's think about it. A.J. Brown is gone. Bobby Trees is not going to be healthy to start the year. There's really no one there to compete with the target share. And I actually compared Treylon Burks to A.J. Brown. I'm not saying he's going to be that. But again, I mean, I'm just trying to see how this would feel out. It's a mock draft. I'm trying it out. But I've also said this on the last stream. I do think the top 5 guys are in the same tier now as far as where I would draft them. I'm not saying as talents, but where I would draft them because of the landing spot and the offenses around them. I do think they're very similar. So I'm not upset if you go Garrett Wilson first. I'm not upset if you go Olave or London or Jameson. London, the reason I'm not taking London there is because, again, I do think he's going to have some issues separating. He's definitely going to get target share. But I would still prefer Garrett Wilson and Olave over London at this time. And I'm not so certain that London really complements Pitts all that well. We'll see. I could be wrong. But again, like from the first 5 wide receivers, take your pick. Because honestly, I really think they're all so close. But yeah. Does that make sense? Like, does that make sense where I'm coming from? DJ Moore off the board, then Joe Moneybag Mixon and Garrett Wilson. Hey guys, 47 people watching the stream. Really appreciate you hanging out with me. If you have yet to do so, show some love and drop a like.
You like that? You like that?
Do it for Kirk Cousins. Do it for his family. My guy's getting a cool 35 mil next year just to go 9-8 and missed the playoffs. I mean, that guy is my hero. Austin Eckler at the 4.6. That's pretty damn good value. Then Deontay at 4.7. What do you guys think about Deontay? I mean, I've been worried about Deontay all offseason. I've pretty much been telling people to sell him since January when we made that buy or sell. So what do you guys think? Okay, C-Dog. I see you, C-Dog. But there goes Deontay. And now Tyreek Hill at the 4.8. That feels like pretty good value to me. Yeah, I can't wait for all these landing spots to be final. And then I can include the rookies in my regular rankings. Because I do need to figure out where I would take people over others. But what we don't want to do, and maybe I've kind of advocated for with taking Burks where I did, what we don't want to do is overreact to the landing spots, right? And then miss out on proven talents. That's what we don't want to do. Because I've said this before, I don't really think this is a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson class. So maybe it is an overreaction, to be honest. Maybe it is just I'm hyped on the draft. We'll see. We'll see. I gotta take some time and actually figure out my startup rankings for sure. George Kittle at the 4.9. I'm not gonna tell you it's too early. I am gonna say that I feel like tight ends go so late that I don't think I want to spend a first. I would say my first 6 picks I don't want to spend on a tight end unless I'm getting Kyle Pitts, because guys like Hawkinson and Waller and Kelsey, even outside of that tier like Goddard and Freiermuth, like these guys are normally available in like the 7th round onwards. So I don't know. I don't know if I would spend a pick there. I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe Mark Andrews you could advocate for. I mean, Mark Andrews is going to see so many targets. So many targets. Jameson Williams, Travis Etienne, Cam Akers, and Jerry Jeudy off the board. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. 55 people hanging out. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you're watching, I mean, it's probably late wherever you are, but you just watched round 3 and now you're still hyped on Dynasty football. You want to see where these startup mocks might go. You are my people. So thanks for hanging out. And if you haven't dropped a like yet,
You like that?
show some love.
You like that?
If you like some, if you like the content. C-Dog says they twin towers like Alshon and Marshall. Maybe. They could be. It could be. Apple Pie says not worried at all about Deontay. His style of play and talent works with any quarterback or situation. And now with Pickett, seems like he's perfectly suited for DJ. I don't know, man. I'm still worried about Deontay. I'm still selling him if I can get the value I could before the draft for Deontay Johnson. I like Deontay Johnson, but I just think that we value him too high in Dynasty. B-Max says Mark Andrews way before Kittle. There goes Dalvin off the board. Is that too early for Dalvin? Maybe. I think it might be too early. I guess it depends on what kind of team you're putting together, but you guys let me know. What do you think? We'll see what Real Deal Dynasty is going to do here. Hey. Okay, Kyle. Okay. Thanks for the sub, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Loving the content. I love to see that. We love to see that. You like that? You like that? There goes Josh Jacobs off the board along with Aaron Rodgers. Are we worried at all about Josh Jacobs, the Raiders, not picking up his 5th-year option? Is anyone worried about that? I'm not alluding to me being worried about it, but it's just a conversation that I think is a good conversation to have. Yeah, Mark Andrews went. Yeah. All right, now we're seeing some more quarterbacks off the board like Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Mac Jones. I still don't know what to think about Christian Watson, man. I still don't know what to think. I just don't know if that makes a lot of sense with having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. I don't know. I don't know at this point. Hot Rock says Commanders need to take Sam Howell round 4. I could see that happening. At this point, to be honest, though, I kind of just want to let's just ride with Carson and hope that we can get a quarterback next year. Alexander Cola says, why low on Deontay? I don't think his situation is any worse. Big Ben was so bad last year, and he still produced. I'll explain in 1 second why I am so low on him. Give me 1 second here to make this pick. Okay, I might get my first running back here. I think I might get my first running back here. Let me double check my rankings. Dobbins is gone. All right, I'm going to grab Antonio Gibson. He probably fell because of the Brian Robinson pick. I can understand people's concerns there. Okay, and now at wide receiver, it's really between Chris Olave. Who else would I really want here? Oh, maybe I should have gone wide receiver because there's a couple wide receivers I really want here. Okay, do I go Chris Olave or Rashad Bateman? That's the question, isn't it? Chris Olave or Rashad Bateman? I'm kind of leaning Olave, but I mean, Bateman is going to step into so many targets. I think I'm going to go Rashad Bateman here. I think that's pretty close, though. But as far as Deontay Johnson goes, I have said this in detail on one of our videos. So what I'll do is I will paste a link to that video, and I would suggest watching it when you get a second, because that would be the best way for me to fully explain it, because I prepped for that video and everything, but you can check it out. But in short, no one threw the ball. I think Big Ben almost had like 40 pass attempts per game. It was ridiculous. They couldn't really run the ball that efficiently. Najee was great, but the offensive line wasn't very good. They had to do a lot of screens. Big Ben had like the lowest yards per attempt, and Deontay Johnson, I think, ranks somewhere around 90th in yards per catch because of the offense that they were running. I mean, a lot of Deontay's production came from the fact that they had to do short screen games and stuff. So I do think he will be impacted. I'm not saying he's going to be terrible, but I think he's going to be impacted. But again, that video that I pasted is going to be the best answer to your question. So there goes Olave, Kirk Cousins, Devonta Smith, and Hollywood Brown. That's where I was. It was between Bateman, Olave, and Hollywood Brown. I really was not sure what to do there. So, catching up with the chat. Are you on Twitch? We were on Twitch, but our stream got terminated because I was actually showing the NFL draft. So I have to figure out a way to unterminate our stream. We'll see. Foxtrot representing. That's right. Foxtrot is in the stream here. By the way, if you do want to play Dynasty football with us, if you want to support the channel at the same time, we do have spots open in our leagues. I'll paste a link to our Patreon there. Feel free to ask any questions that you might have. But definitely check it out if you have any questions, if you want our rankings, if you want unlimited advice, if you want special live streams every week that are exclusive to Patreon members, everything and above. Check it out. Daniel says, Zach, or he says, who do you like better, Christian Watson or Sky Moore? I like Sky Moore better as a talent. But I think year one, Watson will probably have more opportunity. But I think I'm going Sky Moore still over Watson. I'm not so certain that we're not going to see MVS 2.0 here. I know the upside, but I am worried. All right, so St. Brown, I don't know. That might be a reach here. I'm not certain. I could be wrong. But now with Jameson Williams coming in, I think St. Brown's going to be good, but I can't determine if that's too high yet or not. Maybe it's not. I don't really know at this point. There goes Amari Cooper off the board. And I'm going to change it to 30 seconds here at the 7-1. And again, we are going to round 12 today. Round 12. There goes Kelsey off the board at the 6-8. So we're seeing Garrett Wilson at the 4-5. Elijah Moore now at the 5-11. Which I think is really, really good value for Elijah Moore. There goes Derrick Henry. So Drink My Cola looks like, I mean, maybe we're going to try. We got a lot of young wide receivers. Are we trying to win now? What's the plan here? With the Derrick Henry pick. BMac says, Zach, what's AJ Brown's value now that he's in Philly? 12-man Superflex start 10. I think he was my wide receiver 3. He's now my wide receiver 6. 5 or 6 is kind of where I have him right now. But I have AJ Brown in a lot of different leagues. And I have seen a lot of terrible trade offers sent to me. I am not the type to sell low or panic sell. So I would say if you have AJ Brown, unless you get an offer, the same offer that you would have got beforehand, you don't sell him because it's just not worth it. I don't like him being connected to Jalen Hurts, but I'm not going to sell at a low because of panic. I think that's the wrong move to make in Dynasty. So, Saxter says I was picking either two. I love it. BMac says Sky Moore and KC. Daniel loved both situations though. Gator says I know I started out a bit iffy, but what do you think since then? I think you've done pretty well. Cooper Kupp at the 3.7 is great value. Eckler was good value pick. Mixon's Jacobs is probably where he should have gone. I would say St. Brown. I don't know yet. I think St. Brown might have been too early. I can't really determine that just yet in my head. What's up, Wazers? He said, do you think James Cook should be a RB2 for your team? No, I think he should be an RB3 or 4 for your team. If we're talking about your entire depth chart, he should be an RB3 or 4 because, I mean, I just think there's still going to be this weird rotation in Buffalo. I think this makes James Cook more attractive as a rookie pick and also as a startup pick. I mean, it makes him more attractive in general, right? It's a good offense, but to be honest, I mean, is he really going to outtouch Singletary? If anything, I just feel like Singletary, Zach Moss, and James Cook can all offer something. And we've seen this with the Bills. On certain days, they use a certain running back. And on other days, they use a different running back. And I think they kind of view James Cook as what they wanted in J.D. McKissick, a guy that if a certain game plan is needed, they're going to use James Cook, and they can use a luxury pick on a guy like James Cook. So I don't see James Cook developing into like this workhorse running back. So I don't think you should consider him as an RB2 on your complete roster. He's more someone that, yes, he's valuable. There's definitely upside there. It's a great offense, but I don't know that there's going to be consistency, and we kind of have to wait and see on him. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Alexander Cola says, I definitely wanted to rebuild, but that's such good value for Henry, in my opinion. I think I can move him to a contender. I can respect that. BMAX says, yeah, I feel you there. Good take. I was off for Michael Thomas and a 23 first. I'm all about that first, but Thomas is definitely a no-go. For show. Gator says, do you still feel the same way about Tony with how the draft has gone so far? I said this on the other stream, but like what the hell was that? What the hell was the Wan'Dale Robinson pick? I mean, I like Wan'Dale Robinson, but he was selected a round too early. You already have Kadarius Toney. So unless Kadarius Toney is truly going to be traded, they're both screwed, honestly. I mean, they're both screwed unless they trade one of them, you know? So, I don't know. James Cook will not start. Saxer says you don't spend a second-round capital on that type of running back, though. They got their guy, in your opinion. I can respect that. You know, they also spent third-round draft capital on the last two running backs, right? Am I mistaken in saying that? Wasn't Zach Moss and Devin Singletary's third-round picks? I know James Cook was technically a second-round pick, but he was also the second to last second-round pick. So it's not as if he was like pick number 34 or something. Like the Jets went up and got their guy. That's what I view as someone getting their guy. You know what I mean? Like they moved up and they got Breece Hall. The last two running backs they drafted was in the third round as well, you know? So I'm not so certain that that's how they view it, but you know, I could be wrong for sure. All right, I'm on the clock here. And you know, I understand the fall. But I think I am going to take a shot on these two rookies here. I like Jahan Dotson because of the draft capital here. I mean, almost 8th round, and I'm getting a first-round drafted wide receiver. I'll take it. And then Christian Watson, 8th round, connected to Aaron Rodgers. I'll take that as well. Let's see. Just catching up with the chat. C-Dog says, just a direct Tony replacement. He's acting up. Sky in the 7th. Yeah, Sky in the 7th is pretty good value. I'll say as well, though, like, Mitchell probably... What do you guys think? I don't think Mitchell should be going down in a complete round in Dynasty startups, but I do think there is at least reasons for worry. We already kind of replaced... We didn't replace him, but I think we got competition. Trey Sermon's there still. Now Davis Price, Terrion Davis Price, a running back who I really liked. I'm worried about Mitchell at this point. James Cook, I think this is way too early for James Cook. I genuinely do. I mean, guy, there's so many running backs on the board. I'm still taking over James Cook. To me, it's too early. It's also too early for Matt Corral. It is too early for Matt Corral. Maybe we have too much rookie craze going on, but again, these are just my opinions. I could be wrong. I think Corral I want to try and grab probably in the... Outside of Pickett, if I'm going rookie quarterback, I probably want to wait until round 9, 10. I could change that thought process. This is just my instant thoughts. There goes Aaron Jones, Hawkinson, and Connor. D-Hop's off the board. Wazzer says, I got Josh Allen 107. Is that good? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Wazzer? Are you saying you got Josh Allen at the 107 in a startup draft? Because if so, that's... I don't understand how he went that late, if that's the case. Yeah, I do think Matt Corral could take the job, but that doesn't mean that he's... That doesn't mean that he's going to be a good starter. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of want to wait a couple rounds to offset that risk. I appreciate you, B-Mac. Hey, guys, 62 people watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you're watching right now, you obviously love Dynasty football. You're obsessed with Dynasty football. We've just had an entire day of the NFL draft. Now you're hanging out with me, doing a Dynasty startup. So if you don't mind, subscribe if you like Dynasty content, if you vibe with the stream, and let's drop a like.
You like that?
Do you like
You
that?
like that?
64 people watching. Let's see if we can get to at least 50 likes together. Let's see if we can do that. I would appreciate that support. All right, so we see D-Hop, A.J. Dillon, which I mean, I am 100% taking A.J. Dillon and James Conner and Fournette. Maybe Fournette we need to think about now, but probably even him over James Cook. James Cook. I think maybe this is too much rookie craze. I could be wrong. You guys let me know. I don't see Cook being an all-down back. I really don't. Mike Williams off the board, then Tom Brady and Malik Willis. Tom Brady's a pretty damn good pick there. You're kind of putting yourself here into a win now strategy, but also you got enough youth to keep winning. I like this pick here from Charms. So you got a wide receiver core that can definitely, put you in contention. You got 2 running backs I think you can rely on, although I am not an Akers guy. I'm probably going Dobbins there. There's probably a lot of running backs I'm going over Akers, but you guys know I'm not a big Akers guy. We got Fields to develop for another year. I think this makes a lot of sense for sure. Malik Willis at the 9-2. He goes from being a 3rd round pick before the draft to now a 9th round pick. I like the risk reward here. I don't mind it. Yeah, I think this is where we should probably start seeing some of these rookie quarterbacks. Pollard off the board as well as MT and Allen Robinson. And then Dallas Goedert. Again, I mentioned before, I don't want to spend a top 5 pick on a tight end. This is when Kittle went off the board. I don't really want to spend a top 5 pick on a tight end unless it's Kyle Pitts. Mark Andrews you can make the case for, but typically in these drafts, guys, we're seeing the Hawkinsons and the Goddards go in the 8th round, the 7th round and above, or below rather. So I just don't think I really want to spend that high draft capital on a tight end. Just my opinion though. Would I rather spend the 4.9 on Kittle or the 8.5 on Hawkinson? One looks like a huge value. The other looks like maybe a reach. And also it's probably going to impact how your team looks, right? I mean, probably the wide receivers might be a weak spot for you. So unless it's Kyle Pitts or Mark Andrews, I don't think I want to spend up in those early rounds. All right, Renfro. I don't know. I just still don't want to take. This is too high for Renfro in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's too high for Renfro still. Yeah, too high for me. Too high for me. All right, I'm on the clock here. Damian Harrison just went off the board. That is disappointing because I was hoping to grab him here, but I think Miles Sanders is still there. So that definitely intrigues me. I'll go Miles Sanders here. What do I do? All right, I'm going to go Miles Sanders, and then I've said this before, but if you're on the edges, you do need to reach sometimes because my next pick is in 24 picks, and I want to grab a tight end. I feel like there's a teardrop here soon, so I'm going to go ahead and grab Pat the Dragon Freiermuth, the Muth, excuse me. But hey guys, 78 people watching. Thanks for hanging out. We are doing a Dynasty Startup Draft. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. We got 77 people watching, 45 likes. Can you do me a favor? I'm solo dolo tonight. My partner's on his honeymoon. He's on the beach in Fiji. Thank you, Nathan. Okay, appreciate the sub, Nathan. But can you do me a favor, guys? Let's see if we can hit 60 likes. We're on 45 right now. But if you like this, if you do, go ahead and drop a like for your boy. Show some love. Show some support. My co-partner is on the beach in Fiji, and I'm sitting here in this hot ass room with no beach around me. So show some love. But wow, 83 people. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. All right, there goes Mechie. I did like Mechie's landing spot. I thought that was really, really interesting. Then Cooks, Ryan, and Stevenson. I will say as well, by the way, because and a lot of our startups and a lot of our follower startups, by the way, on our Patreon page, you can sign up to be part of a Dynasty League with the people who support our channel and are part of our Dynasty community. So check that out. You can play Redraft, Dynasty. You can get our one-on-one support, advice. You can get our rankings, bonus live streams once per week. Check that out. But over there on Patreon, what was I even going to say? Sorry, in our follower leagues, I have the 11 in a startup. I have the 12 in a startup. I have the 12 in another startup. I keep getting these back of the end draft picks. And now with the rookies kind of having their landing spots, I feel like the board, it feels better for me. I still don't like drafting on the edges, but the board feels better now compared to where it was before the draft. What's up, Badaki? You should be on the beach right now, soaking it up. Wazzer says, yeah, so you got Josh Allen at the 107 in a startup. That is wild, my guy. Is it a one quarterback league? Maybe that might make some more sense, but still, I think that's great value. Saxer says, I also agree that some of the rookies are going too high right now, but some people might be getting their guys based off of draft grades. Yeah, for sure. Hot Rock says, does Ritter take the job easily from Mariota? I think he probably, Ritter is going to command the locker room easier. Right? I mean, he's going to step in and he's going to be the leader of that locker room pretty quickly, which normally leads to an opportunity. So I wouldn't be surprised if week 5 or 6 we see Ritter, come walking out there. Super HD says, I don't think Cook is that talented either. Yeah, and look, I think Cook is talented, but I think he's limited in what he can offer in offense. I don't think we're going to see James Cook be this every down back. I don't see that happening. If anything, it makes Singletary less valuable. It makes Zach Moss pretty much almost irrelevant. But again, the Bills just use certain running backs when they're facing certain teams as a game plan. And that's not what you can really rely on. I do think there's definitely value there. There's definitely upside. But I just don't know that I'm going to draft him ahead of guys like A.J. Dillon, Leonard Fournette, James Conner, Aaron Jones, So I'm not even sure I'm drafting him ahead of Damian Harris. Maybe. I'm just catching up with the chat. 12-team Superflex PPR, Breece Hall or 104 and 105? I think it really depends on what your team looks like right now, Craig. Do you need wide receiver help? Because if you do, 104 or 105 is probably maybe the better move. But I think in most scenarios, I'm going best player available, and that would be Breece Hall for me. So it's a good question, though. I think I am going Breece. Oh, bro, you're fine, Cole. I was going to take Damian Harris anyway. I'm catching up with the chat here. Calder says, like, dropped. I love it. BMAX says, can definitely get down with Sky. Hate that the Chiefs got him. I love it. Shane, what's up? Shane says, traded Eckler and Cook for Watson and a 2023 second. Thoughts? So you traded Eckler and Cook. We have to specify now what Cook. What Cook is that? Is that James Cook or Dalvin Cook? For Deshaun Watson and a 23 second. If we're talking Superflex, then I think the Deshaun Watson side probably wins there for sure. Hot Rock Nation says Velus Jones to the moon pie. I love it. All right, and Michael Carter in the 11th round. Wow, that's probably too big of a drop for him. Let's be honest. Guys, let's be honest. That's probably too big of a drop for Michael Carter there. Man, how bad does Rashad Penny look now? So frustrating. Okay, I'm going to take Sam Howell there. Man, what do I do now? All right, this is the last pick of the draft, by the way. And I'm going to go... This is disgusting to look at. I'm going to just grab Jerome Ford. I probably should have gone somewhere else. Oh, wait, this is the last round. Sorry, I said 12th round is the last round. Damn it, I keep forgetting about Davis Price. Classic. Dalvin, 10-team Superflex. Yeah, I think in a Superflex, that's definitely a good vibe. Badaki's in the chat, but he's in Fiji. My guy just needs to be at the beach. Hey, Tolbert's a great pick there too. I can't wait for this ADP to be updated. Let's get the ADP updated. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Man, I want to ask you guys, who's someone who has not been drafted yet that you are surprised that has not been drafted yet? And then tell me, where do you think that player will be drafted? Where would you like for them to be drafted? There goes Rojo. I mean, Chiefs didn't go running back yet. I think they still could go running back in round 5. Round 4 or 5. Don't be surprised by that. But the Chiefs, I like the Sky Moore pick. They might not have gone real heavy offensive this draft, but man, the Chiefs got much better on the defensive side. I think personally, Trent McDuffie, I think he's a top 12 talent in the draft. To get him at 21, I think that was incredible. George Karlaftis at the end of the first, I think that's exactly what they needed. They needed help on the edge. They needed help with their secondary. And they might not have improved offensively this offseason, but I think defensively, I think they're a more complete team. Buy Apple Pie says Spiller at the 402 to the Texans. I could see that happening. BMAC says, oh man, Cowboys finally made a smart pick. Jalen Tolbert. I loved that pick too. Yeah, Shakira. I'm surprised he's not drafted as well. Chiefs could go Spiller for sure. Damian Pierce into the Chiefs or Texans. A lot of people are saying RB to the Chiefs. I think what we have to keep in mind though tomorrow, the problem with Dynasty, guys, is that we fall in love with so many players because we just love, I mean, for me at least, and that's the end of the draft there. I'll let you guys make your 13th round pick while I talk. For me at least, I love learning about players in college. I love the entire process of not having a bias on a player, watching them, and then creating an opinion and then seeing where they land. I just love that. But what we also have to keep in mind is that a lot of these running backs that are about to go probably will never be fantasy relevant. I know that's hard to hear, but it is very rare historically that 4th round, 5th round, 6th round running backs. You can find examples, but historically, it is very, very rare that these guys ever become fantasy relevant. So just keep that in mind. Landing spots are going to be super important, but don't be surprised if you see a guy like, Pierre Strong land in Dallas and he's buried in the depth chart. Or a lot of people really like Zamir White, right? Don't be surprised if he lands in like Green Bay. Like these landing spots shouldn't surprise us. It is very rare that some of these guys end up getting real shots. It's unfortunate, but it's just kind of the way it has worked historically. BMAC says Chiefs destroyed as a Broncos fan. That's why I hate the entire draft, especially Sky. I love that, bro. Hey, I mean, Broncos probably won the offseason. Let's be honest. Spill it to Hotlanta. Gator says, I think I got good value for Hunt. He's still only 26. Yeah, in the 12th round, I think that is good value. I would agree with you. I would tend to agree. Both New York football teams definitely smashed it. Ronnie says, who do you think had the best draft so far? I'm thinking Jets or Ravens. I'll tell you who didn't have the best draft. How about the Washington Commanders? They have no idea what they're doing. I said this on the last stream, but I genuinely think that Washington as a front office, they actually don't really give a shit about winning. I think they actually find joy in seeing an entire fan base in agony and pain. It's like really messed up. Like that's what they find joy in, is like, ooh, okay, with this next pick, how could we really piss off our entire fandom? And then they make that pick. So, but I would say the Chiefs had a great draft. The Jets really had a good draft. The Ravens did. Giants had a good first round. What the hell was a Wan'Dale Robinson pick? Eagles also had a great draft for sure. Yeah.
Let's go, team. Let's go.
But, all right, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to end the draft here. I'll hang around for a couple more questions. But, yeah, this is interesting. You know, just looking through it. Just to review, I'll review a couple things because a lot of us are about to go into Dynasty startups, okay? Don't reach on these quarterbacks in the second round. At least my opinion. I'm not reaching on Lawrence and Tua here. I love these guys, but let's try and wait at least to the third round. You know, I would say with the rookies, there's definitely a heavy possibility that some of us are a little too rookie crazed. I mean, I took Burks over DJ Moore and Tyreek Hill, so I could be contributing to that. Yeah, let's not get too crazy here. Let's kind of recalibrate. And I would always suggest if you're going to do startups, wait like at least 2 weeks. Wait like at least 1 week after the draft, okay? Because then the hype is kind of worn off and you can think a little more logically. We're not too hyped on the rookies necessarily. But I think this was a good draft. It was fun to see where players are going to go. Tolbert is such a good pick there. I'm excited for the ADP to be updated because guys like Davis Price are going to go higher. Same with Tolbert. David Bell's a pretty good pick there too. But yeah. Hot Rock Nation says, I've heard New England fans complaining. Well, yeah, I mean, they took Cole Strange in the first round. What the hell was that? It will be their Mark Andrews show again, that's for sure. Can't rely on Bateman and Tylon. I actually do think Bateman... I think Bateman can be a wide receiver one for a team. I do think he can be that. So we'll see. He's going to have the opportunity this year. You know? All right, hey guys, I'm going to plug a couple things. Number one is our redraft channel. If you like redraft content, I just pasted that link in the chat. That channel will be popping off when we get closer to the season. Our Twitch got banned. I need to figure out how to unban that. Join our Discord with the link that is in the description. Also, we do still have spots left for our Patreon Dynasty and Redraft leagues. So if you'd like to play in a Dynasty league with myself, with our followers, with Badaki, where we do the startup drafts and we trade together and everything, check out our Patreon. There's 3 different tiers that you can sign up to. Now, you are supporting us as content creators while you're doing this. But you also get a lot of exclusives in return. You get our rankings, all right? Dynasty, Rookie, and Redraft. You get access to a weekly bonus live stream where we typically do Patreon-only mock drafts. You also get access to one-on-one advice. So check it out. Feel free to ask us any questions. I'm not doing draft grades tonight, and the only reason I'm not, guys, is just because I've been talking so much in the past 3 days with making content and doing live streams that I'm kind of a little worn out, and I also still need to make content and release it in like 4 hours for day 2. So I'd still need to make some content. I got to do all those edits and everything. So no draft grades tonight. I promise you, though, next week when we get back to the normal swing of live streams, we will bring draft grades back 100%. I can promise you that. But what I was going to say is if you have not watched it yet, I brought my winners and losers from round 1. Tonight, I am making round 2 winners and losers. Okay. So I just pasted the link in the chat to the round 1 winners and losers. Feel free to check that out. And drop your comments, what you think in that comment section as well. But I appreciate all the love, all the support. We're almost at 50 likes. Hey, if you're watching this and you haven't dropped a like yet, you could actually be the reason we hit 50 likes. So help your boy out. Let's hit 50 on the stream. A cool 50. But yeah, I got time for... I'll give you guys 5 minutes here. Actually, I have to pee really bad, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes, ask me any questions. I'll get through as many as I can. Go ahead. All right, well, if no one has any questions, then I'm going to go make some more content. Okay. Gator says, for Dynasty trades, how would you balance not wanting to mess up, but also not wanting to be too aggressive? I think with Dynasty trades, you have to... Let me say this. You have to emulate what you want in a trade partner. And for example... You want to create relationships. So, for example, if someone sends me a trade and I think it's a terrible trade, I'll reply and I will say, you know, like, hey, I really appreciate the trade, but I just don't think it's value for me to move, right? What I don't think that any of us should be doing as Dynasty owners is making someone feel bad about a trade. So, if we emulate that, hopefully more Dynasty players will also emulate that. You can say, hey, I don't really like this value, but there's no reason to be like, hey, you're an idiot for this trade, or like, this is such a stupid trade, this is a terrible one, you know, like there's just no reason to do that. So I would say emulate the type of person that you want to be. You know, you want to have people that you can have conversations with, and the reality is if you can build relationships, you'll have more trades. But you know, you can use trade calculators as a guide, but don't use them as your Bible. Don't make a trade calculator your God. But, you know, if you don't know what to offer, tell the person, hey, send me an offer and then I'll counter. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. But overall, I would say, you know, just create those relationships. It's going to make it a lot easier. And, of course, if you're on Patreon, you can send us a message if you have a trade offer and you want our thoughts. Nick says, had an interesting debate in the Dynasty Trades Discord channel. Would you rather have the 101 or the 105 in the 2023 first? I actually saw this, and I got a DM from someone asking me about it over there on Patreon. I know that I saw it. I like to stay out of the debates just because, you know, people on Patreon, I'll try and give them all my time to reply offline. But I am going with the 105 and the 23 first. I am. I know that the 101 is Breece Hall, but still, if that's what it takes for me to move up to the 101, then I'm not moving up to the 101. I'm just not doing it. The 23 first is, I know that, I think they said it was probably going to be a mid to late first, but there are at least 3 running backs that I like better than every running back in this class next year. There are at least 4 wide receivers that I like than almost all the wide receivers in this class next year. There are at least 3 quarterbacks that I like more next year than the ones that I like this year. So I feel like a mid to late first is... I just think this time next year, am I going to want Breece Hall or Drake London in a 2023 first? And I'm not so certain that Breece Hall will be the answer. Now, Breece Hall could have an incredible year 1, and I don't doubt that he can finish top 12. But I don't know. I just think in a year's time from now, I'm probably going to regret moving that 23 first. So that's how I would see it. But at the same time, I think it's a good conversation. And what I tend to tell people if they ask us a question over Patreon is I just say, like, hey, this is my opinion, but also go with your gut. Don't not make a trade because I'm telling you. You can hear me, use me as a sounding board, but at the end of the day, if you want to pull the trigger and you know you're confident, then do it. But I wouldn't give up that much. If that's what it costs, then I'm not moving up. Gator says, last question: who do you think is the next quarterback and running backs to go off the board? Thanks for all of this. Of course, Sam Howell definitely would be the next quarterback off the board. Sam Howell will definitely be the next one. And then running back, I would say, who do I want it to be? I want it to be Jerome Ford. Who will it be? Probably Isaiah Spiller or Zamir White or Damian Pierce. Wide receiver, I think Justin Ross, probably Khalil Shakir, Calvin Austin. The NFL loves speed. So expect to see those guys in day 7 or day 3. Hot Rock Nation says, I wish more people countered trade offers. Yeah, that's a hard one there because I get why some people don't counter. I don't counter if I look at a trade and I think, oh, there's no way we're going to get on the same page. But if I will always counter if I see a trade and I think, okay, we can get close here. So that's how I kind of look at it. If I look at a trade offer, I'm like, dude, I mean, like I got some trades for AJ Brown after yesterday and what I said about him. And like, I was just, even in my home league, I'm just like, nah. I'm just like, we're not on the same page there. So if it's somewhere where I'm like, I can meet you halfway, then I will counter. But what I will say is the worst thing is just people not replying in general, just leaving it in their inbox. But anyway, this was really fun, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you haven't dropped a like, I would really appreciate you to drop a like on your way out. Show your boy some love. And I will be here again tomorrow doing more mock drafts with you after round 7. So I will see you then. Huge love. Check out the video I released today on my round 1 winners and losers. I'm making round 2 tonight. And what are you taking for AJ Brown? 23 first and what? 23 first in like a piece, you know, and something that's intriguing to me. Just off the top of my head, like I really need to sit down and think about it, but you know, like maybe someone unproven, like a Rashad. I don't know off the top of my head. I would really have to sit down and think about it, but I just didn't get any offers that I liked. You know, I was getting offers like the 111 and Terry, and I'm just like, I'll just stay put. So anyway, guys, huge love. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow night for more mock drafts. And check out the Patreon if you want to join our leagues. Otherwise, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.